5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We are blasting off right now to the world's greatest desert resort community. Where do we begin to behold the glory of how much we all seriously love Palm Springs, the Mecca of mid-century? In this slideshow, we're going east, we're going west, north, and south, looking through the layers of time in search of and in celebration of and in roast and toast of the Mecca of mid-century. So when you go to Palm Springs, you guys from Los Angeles, this is the first thing that you see, kind of getting an idea that you are getting close. Yes, this is the dinosaur. Well, there's actually two now, but this is the original dinosaur in Cabazon. Here he is in 1964 when he was first being built. Actually, I'm not sure if this is 1964, but he started in 1964. And the story is the portrait artist at Knott's Berry Farm, this guy named Claude Bell. He's like, I am so done drawing pastel portraits of people here at Knott's Berry Farm. I'm going to live my dream. And how much do we love anybody who says they're going to live their dream? He said, I'm going to build a giant dinosaur in the desert. So yeah, starting in 1964, and it's still there, an icon of Southern California, a landmark on the way to Palm Springs, just to give you an idea of scale. And oh, by the way, he hasn't always been painted pink. Only recently in the last few years have they started painting him up different colors, different times of the year and stuff, which we love. But for years, he was just the metal grid that you saw. And then he was like this color, like natural dinosaur color, I guess. But just to give you an idea of scale, I mean, where do we begin? Oh, and of course, you're on a road trip to Palm Springs, so you need road snacks. Where are we going? Oh, yes, we are. We're going to go see the Hadley family. They've been growing fine fruits. Fine fruits. I love anything with fine in front of it. Don't you? I know. Since 1889, you guys, yes, Hadley's is a roadside attraction on the way to Palm Springs, from LA, right by the big giant dinosaur. So what are we going to snack on in the car? How about this? Kind of like amazing, not kind of, like totally amazing. I don't know about you. It's like a solar system of dried fruits. I don't know about you, but I love anything like arranged perfectly. And I mean, this has got all kinds of things going on. Dried pears up there and down there. The dried apricots going like this. And of course, the foil wrapped whatevers, mystery items. Not Ramaki chicken, but something. I know. And those dates that have been rolled. Dates, yeah, Nature's Caramel. That have been rolled in coconut, stuffed with an almond. Well, actually topped with an almond. And of course, the dried slices of pineapple with a maraschino cherry eyes looking at you, and branded right there in the middle. Let us not forget Hadley's since 1889, still going strong, as is this. Shields Date Garden. Okay, I hear the angels singing, I'm feeling the spirits, and I'm feeling the soul. Shields Date Garden, if you're coming from the other side, like not LA, you are going to, sorry, a big giant hawk just flew by the window. I got distracted. I distract easily. I have ADD, don't you? I know. Anyway, it doesn't matter right now who has ADD or who doesn't. But what I was going to say is that okay, I better calm down. If you're coming from the opposite side of Los Angeles, you might pass by this on Old Highway 99, Shields Date Garden. Shields Date Garden, where do we begin to behold the glory? And by the way, you guys, only the cars in the parking lot have changed. It looks exactly like this. It's been there since 1926. Yeah, celebrating 96 years. 96 years. Yeah, I'm good at math. 96 years. The new Shields sales room, exactly like that. I love it. It says the world's finest and rarest for a quarter of a century. So it lets you know this was built actually in 1952. The knight in shining armor looks exactly like that. He is enormous. And of course, we cherish the very existence of that giant knight in shining armor. An icon, a roadside icon for the ages of all time, and a world-class national treasure, not to mention a local landmark. Yes, Shields Date Garden. Here is the Date Garden. I know, date garden. I don't know about you, but I've always dreamt of living in a grove of date palms. Oh, and by the way, We might as well get it out in the open right away, you guys. They're not called they're not called palm trees. They are not called palm trees. Palms are grass, and grasses that grow fruits. Not all grasses grow fruits, do they? Do they? I know. Anyway, okay, better calm down. Everything's fine. This is one of my favorite old slides I've ever found. It's from the mid-50s, and it's really my favorite family portrait ever. The family portrait the dad decided to climb, 3 steps up that ladder, which is used for the guys going up there who have to, hand pollinate the dates. That's a whole nother story. We'll get to that in a minute. But how he has his little kid there. The little kid is so smartly dressed, a little plaid vest, the smart little shoe, and then mother wearing a circle skirt with giant circles on it, something on her head. Very chic, very timeless classic. I know. And right around the corner in that grove, you are going to see this billboard. Actually, no, it's not there anymore. But back in the day, it was there just ahead. See and hear the romance and sex life of the date. Continuous showing in color and sound, also one of California's largest rose gardens. We are not talking about the rose gardens at Shields. We are talking about the romance and sex life of the date. It is a film. They have a theater there. This is the Romance Theater since 1952. It is still there. The movie is still showing continuously. I know. And the other day when I was there were only 4 people in watching the movie, but it's like you walk into this theater and it's like you're walking into a time capsule. The whole place is. Shields Date Garden, homespun and family run. I cannot recommend it enough. Where do we begin? We begin by saying thank you and giving gratitude to Mr. and Mrs. Shields. And here they are. Oh, look at them. You see the sparkle in their eye together, and they made so much magic for us creating Shields Date Garden, and it is a true miracle of miracles beyond and more galore that Shields is still there. Of course, they have long gone to the date garden in the sky, but look at her. She's even got a rose in her hair. Oh, and of course, I have to say, in all of the Coachella Valley, this is my favorite place to actually to enjoy the local food there. Everywhere I go, of course, I mentioned this before, but everywhere you go has a local food, and we might as well get it out in the open. The Coachella Valley, Palm Springs is no different. The local food is the date shake. Yeah, the date shake. And it's basically vanilla, whatever, with a slurry of pulverized dates. Only in the last few years have they started to pulverize the dates. I remember in the 90s, trying shakes, in the 80s and the 70s and the 60s, trying these date shakes, and they had little date crystals in them, and the date crystals would get stuck in the straw, and it drove me crazy to the point where I didn't want to have a date shake. But now I don't want to have date shakes for another reason. That's because I fear I will be 2 things. A, catapulted into a diabetic coma because they are so full of sugar, and B, addicted because they are so delicious. You guys, you've got to try a date shake. And as I said, my favorite place is at Shields Date Garden. Okay, you guys, we have arrived in Palm Springs. Yes, we're back on the road, coming from Los Angeles, and this is the first thing you see. When you get to this is the former Ariel Tramway gas station. Built in the year of 1965, it is an architectural masterpiece, as you can see. Look at that soaring roof line. This is a building with a point of view, isn't it? I know. Anyway, and of course, the natural beauty of Palm Springs is breathtaking. And this building, I know what I was going to say. This building is now the Visitors Center. So when you go to Palm Springs, you absolutely cannot go to Palm Springs without stopping here at least once to, buy a book or something. And because, when you go places, you want to buy books about the places. And here's the architectural greeter and the Land of the Giants greeter. Yes, we have got the giant dinosaur. We've got the giant knight in shining armor. And we also have a giant Marilyn Monroe, the most glamorous movie star, the most glorious movie star, and the most gorgeous movie star of all time. Here she is to greet you right in front of the Palm Springs Musée Yeah, musée. That's French for museum. I just like saying it. Sometimes I throw in a French word or a Spanish word or rarely a German word, but occasionally. Never Japanese. Uh-oh, someone's calling me. I can't talk right now. Sorry. Okay, we're back. Anyway, so what I was going to say is yeah, Marilyn is there. She is there to greet you, and you can stand there and have your picture taken too. But we're not talking about Marilyn right now. We are talking, with these prehistoric mountains as a dramatic backdrop, you guys. I don't know. It's so weird about Palm Springs mountains. I get this feeling there that I don't really get anywhere else, which is like in the world with mountains where I've been, that dinosaurs are going to come walking out of them. So it's kind of appropriate there's a dinosaur, a giant one on the way, even if he is bright pink. I mean, nothing in Palm Springs is normal, by the way. It's all extraordinary, including this, my favorite neighborhood, dotted by clumps of palms, clusters, if you will. This is the Canyon View Estates, and we, yes, are going to be talking about mid-century modern architecture. Oh, yes, we are, and this is one of my favorites. These little condo buildings are absolutely adorable. And here, oh, yes, and that is the 1969 Chrysler 300 in the parking lot in a dramatic shade of a lemon yellow. Doesn't it look delicious? I know. Anyway, with hideaway headlights, by the way, you guys, hideaway headlights, alert. So these little condominiums are such a good investment. So, I do bus tours. Maybe you don't know, but I do an architectural bus tour or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 every Modernism Week in Palm Springs. Yeah, modernismweek.com. Anyway, and one of the guys on the bus said, where should I invest in Palm Springs? I want a condo. I said, invest in this neighborhood. So he actually bought this house. This is his 1960 Cadillac with the added on flying saucer on the trunk there. And I love the whole thing painted pink to match the front door, by the way, which, by the way, painted front doors, you have to paint your front door a color in Palm Springs. It's basically required. So he said, I'm going to buy a place there. And anyway, he did. He bought it for $280,000 and sold it for $780,000 4 years later. And here he is right here. Maybe should I be telling his business? I don't know. But well, it's public record. Anyway, Carlos Cardoza, he's a great guy, and I love his personal and decoratorial. Yeah, decoratorial. Is that a word? Decoratorial style, you guys. Where do we begin to behold the glory of how much we love and have no fear of color? Color. The world needs more color. The world needs more color. And mid-century modern furniture. I know. Can you believe it? Anyway, look at those clear story windows and everything there. You guys, those are the windows up there. This is the inside of those. I know. Look at his style, of course. Oh, I love everything. That surfboard coffee table and that rug and that unusual figurine over there on the left. That gorgeous, I don't think it's an original Picasso. But one could only wish. That giant palm in the corner, that sofa that keeps going and then wraps around a little as though to say, come sit down. So warm, so inviting, so rich, so glorious. Those pillows. And of course, the crowning touch and my favorite detail in the whole room, that 1958 Arnie Jacobson chair. That's my favorite chair ever, always has been since I was a child. So this, by the way, this style of mixing like kind of contemporary and actual classic, real genuine pieces of mid-century. This is a style that I call mid-century modern. And in case you forget where you are when you're there, because it's so intoxicating, you guys, on his patio, he has it written down for you, so there is no forgetting. And don't you love that bullet planner? Oh, I know, you guys, absolutely love. You can order those online. Hiphaven.com. Hiphaven.com. Yes. That's where you get those. Anyway, oh gosh, you guys, the shopping in Palm Springs is out of control. No, this isn't Modesto, California. Let us not be confused. But there are a lot of quirky, kooky, and classic collectibles, mid-century collectibles of all kinds available in Palm Springs. It is the greatest shopping place in the world for the mid-century stuff, including, that is a mannequin there. Yes, it is. The guy over there. I know. And then don't you love the martini glass? Don't you love the cross? Don't you love, what's his name from the Ed Sullivan Show? Topo Gigio. Yeah, he's a little before my time, but I guess a lot of this stuff is, so that's no excuse that I wouldn't know who he was. But yeah, he's Topo Gigio. And of course, you guys, a heaven of starburst fixtures. The ultimate light fixtures of all time, timeless classic, the starburst light fixtures. Where do we begin? I know, don't you love them? Oh, I know. Oh, yes, we do. Okay, we're going to a party right now. This is a very special party. The former now, but then when this slide was taken a couple of years ago, the home of Joan and Gary Gand. They are fantastic people in Palm Springs, as there are so many fantastic people in Palm Springs. But anyway, what's unusual about this house is, yes, you can see it right now. The swimming pool goes right up to the living room and bar. Okay, this is their classic New Year's Day pajama party, which I've been privileged to have been invited to several times. And of course, all those smart, peppy, happy party people are lovely in every way, every day, but it is not them we're looking at right now. No, we're looking at, those are two giant sliders of glass that slide into the rock and disappear into the rock walls, you guys. So the whole thing is open. Yes, you could like sit on the couch right there and do a backflip into the pool. This is like my favorite house in Palm Springs. And then also, you guys, the bar. See the bartender there in black, the guy with the white robe? He's pouring that guy, like you can swim up to the bar and the bartender will turn around and give you a drink. There's actually a little table in the pool too, but we don't need to talk about that right now because I wanted to show you the inside of the house. After everyone was gone, I think there was one lonely wanderer that was still there, but, or maybe this was a different day. Yeah, this had to be a different day, but yeah, a wanderer. But I wanted you to see how the pool goes right into the house. I mean, you guys, that's amazing. I know. And then the bar there, all the blue and everything, the step down, very dramatic, the rock wall, and then another glass wall that you open up that disappears, and you have an outdoor room there. That is the realm, the reality, and the thrill of indoor-outdoor living, because we all have this fantasy that we can live outdoors. So with the glass walls and glass walls that disappear, voila, you can, parked out front of Joan and Gary Gand's house. Oh, I know, right up against the mountains, you guys. It's so beautiful. Anyway, there is a guy there with a face mask on because it's the New Year's Day pajama party there at the door. And it looks like, well, somebody in a bathrobe. Anyway, but we're not talking about the bathrobe. We will talk a little bit about the front of this house here, the rock, the breeze block, the palms, and the light, the lamp, the lamp out there with the globe. How much do we love that? And I guess you by now noticed, how could you not? The 1978 Bobcat by Mercury. Yes, this is Mercury's version of the always iconic and ever memorable and always unforgettable Pinto by Ford. Yes, and as you can see there, I don't know if you guys can see, but inside it has a plaid interior to match. But what is interesting about this Mercury Bobcat / Pinto design more than anything is that it was clearly, I didn't even realize this until I was stacking up these pictures to show you guys. It was influenced by this, the 1963 Avanti by Studebaker. This is, yeah, it is, I know. It's just so bizarre, but this is the official classic car of Palm Springs. This is a car that was designed in Palm Springs by legendary industrial designer and, some other people, I'm sure. But who gets all the credit is Raymond Loewy. Anyway, but what I was going to say was, you guys, is this in 1963, this Studebaker Avanti was it still is avant-garde in every way. The side styling, the everything about it, the rear window wraparound, the C pillar there going like this, I know, and those wheel covers. I mean, talk about an exquisite, divine design of absolute highest order, world class. Every one of these Avantis is a world class national treasure. Here you can see where's the grill? I know, this is the car without a grill. There have been a few over the years, but not that many. And don't you love those headlights? They are looking at you, not to mention the asymmetrical hood that focuses right in on the driver there and begins with that S for Studebaker. Yes, and when you go to Palm Springs, you are going to see more Studebaker Avantis there than anywhere else. They were made from about 1963, 64, and then another company took the stampings over and made fake Studebaker Avantis for years. But if you want one, you want the original. Okay, we're talking about this right now. In the realm of me going in search of, for the last 30 years now, other people's old slides, I have to say, this is right up there with one of my favorites. I mean, everything about it, that foggy kind of like mystery air of Palm Springs, those mountains kind of lurking there within the haze, the desert haze. I know, I better calm down. Okay, everything's fine. But you guys, how much do we love a big black 1959 Electra by Buick? Parked there. Look at that razor sharp fin on the back, that fierce front end. And don't you love those ocotillos there, flanking it, framing it, in those two like square kind of plastic looking pots that reflect the color on the house there. This house is pure like, well, it looks like lemon meringue pie, kind of, and a house had a baby. And that one cactus there, and they've painted some driftwood. See that driftwood there next to the cactus? They painted it to match the house. And then those people there, and then you can see the umbrella in the back. Here's the umbrella there now. And swimming pool. I love the lamp in the window. Those two chairs in the back that are just staring at everything that's going on. I mean, they are taking it all in. The little rock and cactus garden there. The spare chair. And then, of course, our three lovely people sitting right there, front and center, ready to enjoy Palm Springs. I wonder if they had a conversation like, how about you match the cement, you match the house, and I'll match the pool? I know. Aren't they gorgeous? Where do we begin? And he's having a cigarette. Yes, he is. So now we're going to Twin Palms, you guys. I mean, Palm Springs, first of all, that's why I call it Palm Springs Land because, well, it's why I call every place a land because it is like a big, giant theme park. I'm surprised they do not charge admission. You know, really, like going to Venice, Italy, like why aren't they charging admission? I don't get it. But anyway, I know. I mean, how much would it be though? Like a lot. It should be. Palm Springs, very expensive to get in. But anyway, I know, just cause. But it's free. It's free. And you can drive around all the lands of Palm Springs, which are the neighborhoods, and they're all marked. The one thing that's missing though is the word land at the end. Like this should be Twin Palms Land. Aquanetta, how much do we love a street named after your, well, in my case, my mother's hairspray when I was a child, Aquanet. Oh yeah, she would go in the bathroom and she'd go shh with that aerosol, can that had such a beautiful label on it. And she'd spray her hair and spray her hair shh, like for 5 minutes. And then she'd leave the bathroom and the whole bathroom would be like raining these fumes, these little particles of the hairspray. And I'd go in there as a child and like breathe deep and go. And do you know, nobody ever stopped me. Anyway, Twin Palms, this is the poster child house of Twin Palms. This is the Chris Minred house, built in 1957, indeed. And you can see that it has that celebratory open arms, life is fantastic roofline, reaching up and welcoming you in. And even better if you pull up in a 1958 Monterey by Mercury. Yes, indeed. I love that kind of cap roof and everything, that wraparound rear window, that sweeping jet flow styling on the side, those sensible, smart, reflective wheel covers, and where it says Monterey right there on the front fender for your pleasure and mine. Yes. By the way, you guys, okay, another view of the house, and there is Chris. He doesn't know, but I actually stalk his house. He's like, what's going on here? What are you doing? I'm like taking pictures like crazy, mainly because I love the house, A, but B, where do we begin to behold the glory of, and how much did I, wait. Okay. I guess I told you guys, Palm Springs is a hotbed of classic American cars, survivor class classic American cars, more than anywhere else in the known universe. There are so many amazing classic American cars here. Well, maybe Sweden has more. But 50s and 60s cars, this is a very, very rare car. It is the all-new for 1960 Polara by Dodge. And the most striking feature of this car, well, there are many, but we'd be here all day, inside and out. But as you can see, well, I'm going to tell you right now, this is the only car ever with fins that the fin stopped like 2/3 of the way back and was like, I'm done, car. You just keep going. I'll be fine. But anyway, I know in that little thin tip, the little thin little end of the fin actually lights up at night, I know. And again, look at the roof line on that house. Isn't it gorgeous? And here we have the 1959 Dynamic 88 Biosmobile. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, and this has a very distinctive feature of all, that many 59 and 60 General Motors cars all had this roof line in the 4-door series. This is called a flat top. Some call it a pancake top. Some call it a patio roof. But there is glass all around you and not a blind spot. These cars are a dream to drive. Now notice just beyond the, very generous trunk of the car, you see a crop circle. Yes! This is very special, and one of the things that makes Chris Minred's house stand out more than anything else, besides the obvious, is the landscaping. So in 1957, when these houses were built, they had a landscape architect that came in and said, we're going to do something really extraordinary. We're going to do this crazy, like, crop circle meets your great-grandmother's patchwork quilt. And, well, it didn't quite happen. Nobody did it. I'm not sure why. But then Chris found the plans like 15 years ago or whatever and decided to actually go ahead and install the original landscaping plan. And in Twin Palms, you will see many of the homes have now adopted their original landscaping plan and have done these crazy front yards. So it's kind of art installation meets, landscaping, and it is intoxicating. Now, the one thing that really makes Chris's yard stand apart, besides several other things, is you can see the one over there on the far right, that raised bowl that has some like crazy plants in it, but he decided to get rid of the plants and put glass rocks. There's one on there. There's two you can see. I think he has 4 in his yard. But anyway, who does that? I know. And they're just gorgeous to look at, A, and B, it gives me a fun moment in my the architecture tours that I do in Palm Springs, because I tell everyone on the bus, I say every night at 8 o'clock, he flips a switch and each one of these these bowls full of glass rocks shoots a flame 15 feet in the air. And everybody always believes me, but it's not true. He really doesn't do that. But we're not talking about glass rocks and raised bowls on poles. Yeah, bowls on poles. You don't usually talk about bowls on poles, do you? But we are now. Well, not anymore, because we're talking about the house down the street there, you guys. There it is at night. Look at that. Now, this is in the Twin Palms neighborhood. This is a very, very special house. And the reason why it's special is because, for me, it's special. The roof, just architecturally, it's gorgeous. And the night lighting in Palm Springs, they're very, very, very much about night lighting there, you guys. Lighting the gardens, uplighting, spotlighting. It's just gorgeous. I love to arrive in Palm Springs at night. It is at its magical peak. It really is. Mornings, every time of day. But anyway, speaking of every time of day, so Palm Springs is right up against the mountains, and when the sun goes behind the mountain, it becomes twilight, and they have an extra hour of twilight there, which gives them an extra hour of cocktail time, which gives them an extra hour of socializing time, and it also gives them an extra hour to I just said it, socialize. So this is where I found out, this very house in Palm Springs is where I found out this kind of crazy thing about Palm Springs, that after the sun goes behind the mountain, if you are driving around or walking around a neighborhood and you see the door like ajar, 10 to 12 inches, that means we're having cocktails by the pool and perhaps you are welcome to join. So what you do is this, you walk up gently into the driveway and you say, my slightly louder than usual voice, what a beautiful home this is. And, you kind of just stand there for a minute. And if they don't come to the door and open it and then you go, take a couple steps more and they go, what beautiful landscaping. And, if you say like the third thing, and I love the color scheme, And if you wait a few more, couple minutes after that, no one shows up. Okay, well then they've accidentally forgot to close the door. But chances are, between one of those three statements, you are going to have the host or the hostess of the house open the door and say, well, thank you so much. Well, we're having cocktails around the pool. Won't you join? And that is one way that you meet lovely, convivial, happy, peppy party people in Palm Springs. Speaking of Palm Springs, yes, you guys, it is all about houses. It's all about presentational there. It's such a very presentational, show-off society. We might as well get it out in the open. And everything is like done, done, done. But you really driving around, you're really seeing just the facade of the house. Once you open the doors, you whoosh. There's glass walls, and the centerpiece crowning touch of every residential and hotel property is the swimming pool. But we're not talking about swimming pools right now. We're talking about what you see from the street. And this house right here, absolutely, it is in Twin Palms, by the way, is the quintessential house of Palm Springs. I mean, it has all the ingredients. It has a rock wall. It has a breeze block wall. It has desert landscaping. It has, palm trees galore and more all around. It has a cockeyed slanted roof line. It has a globe over the front door, a globe light fixture, the most minimalist light fixture you could possibly have. And the crowning touch is and required basically in Palm Springs, front doors painted a bright color. Now, when I was a child growing up in Southern California, really, it seemed to me, occasionally you'd see like a red front door, but it was rare. But you would see a turquoise front door. And to me as a child, that always meant that you had a swimming pool. But in Palm Springs, you could have any color, lime green, pink, orange, red, turquoise, whatever. Why am I like, you know what colors are. You could have any color. So anyway, and double doors, by the way. 2 doors. And then, of course, you can't see it, but the extra crowning touch there on the far right up against the street there, is this mailbox. This is the ultimate mid-century modern mailbox designed in the year of 1957. And a company started reproducing them probably 15 years ago or whatever, but this is the ultimate mailbox to have in all of Palm Springs. Speaking of Palm Springs, now we're in the Las Palmas neighborhood. Wait, no, this is Vista Las Palmas. There are a lot of neighborhoods in Palm Springs, you guys, but it's easy to know where you are because most of the street signs, as you saw in the Twin Palms land, as I call it, have the name of the neighborhood. So Vista Las Palmas here, right up against the mountains. The scenery, spectacular, yes. You're waiting for dinosaurs to walk out in the mountains. But anyway, this is what I call the Swiss Miss Mod house. Where do we begin to behold the glory of how much we all love an A-frame? You can take this particular body style of a house. There are several. It's a tract built between 57 and 62. You can take this in several directions. Some have done tiki with it. But, if I did it, I'm not sure what direction I would take it in, but I know for sure that I would have to collect cuckoo clocks and serve Swiss Miss cocoa to the Cuckoo Clock Club once in a while. Wouldn't you? I know. Yeah, I know. It's amazing. But anyway, then there's this house. This is a legendary house. This is a famous interior designer, and he built it in 1962. Why am I blanking on his name right now? We might as well get it out in the open. Maybe I'll think of it in a second. I can't believe it. Whatever. I don't have notes, you guys, so there's a lot. Anyway, so what I was going to say is this house was his showcase house. And first of all, before anything, what is this style? Well, this is Hollywood Regency style, where mid-century and classical design elements come together. Hollywood Regency style is a timeless classic style that started in the Fred and Ginger movies of the 1930s in Hollywood. That's why it's called Hollywood Regency. But the first thing you notice about this house, besides, of course, you've got to step up 4 steps because you're above the sidewalk that way. Those door handles, you guys, are actually in real life coffin handles. And the double doors, again, very dramatic. When you walk up those 4 steps and you stand there and ring that doorbell, you have arrived. Yes, indeed you have. So this is the Kaufman House, built in 1946. This is Richard Neutra, one of the most iconic, most famous architects. The Kaufmans are also famous for their falling water vacation home in rural Pennsylvania. The Kaufmans are of the Kaufman department store family of Pittsburgh. And this was their California winter home. And as I said, Richard Neutra is one of the most famous architects. And this house is actually considered to be, by many mid-century residential historians, the ultimate darling of all mid-century homes in the known universe. So, I know, can you believe it? That upstairs you see there, that's actually an outdoor room. And I have been to this house several times. It was restored about, 15 years ago, I guess, by a couple who said, we can afford to restore this house, why don't we? To divine perfection. And indeed they did. And then when they were done, they're like, darling, gosh, we're done. Wow, it really turned out gorgeous. And then I'm not sure which one of them said, but the next line was, according to the legend, I want a divorce. But anyway, we all know there are no guarantees in life. But also, I know you guys, can you believe it? I know. Again, there's those 4 steps. It's all about 4 steps in Palm Springs because you have to be like up a little bit. Anyway, the bedroom and everything, that bed looks like it could talk to you, doesn't it? Look like a character from a movie like Cherry from Pee-wee's Playhouse. The bed version. Anyway, and there you can see the upstairs there in that outdoor room. And it has all those lines there are actually slats that will block out the sun for the few minutes of the day that it's going to be there. And the gorgeous reflection in the swimming pool and the blue of twilight. I know. Well, anyway, what I was going to say is in the 70s, Barry Manilow, Barry Manilow at the Copacabana, the hottest spot north of, Barry Manilow bought this house and called up the carpet company, according to the legend, and said, I want wall-to-wall ice blue shag carpet. And so they came there and they installed the carpet and everything. And then he goes to look at it and he called them back and he said, you guys, I said wall-to-wall. And they said, it is wall-to-wall. He says, no, I want it up the walls. Barry Manilow had ice blue shag carpeting, wall-to-wall and up the walls, according to the legend. But no more. This house, as you see it, exists right now. And hopefully you are lucky enough to see it. Oh, and this house. This is the iconic, legendary landmark House of Tomorrow. Indeed, it is. And yes, it was built in 1962. It was built for the fine folks, Mr. and Mrs. Alexander, who developed the entire Vista Las Palmas neighborhood. And this was the best plot in the entire land that they developed there, and all the land. And so, of course, they built themselves the most outrageous house, which looks like a stealth bomber that's going to come and fly away or take off any minute now. It has recently been restored to divine perfection. And yes, those are cutouts on both sides. That is the master bedroom up there. And isn't it gorgeous? I mean, how much do we love uplit palms? I know, just everything about this house. Here is a slightly earlier in the evening view of that dramatic roof line that comes to a point. This is also the house where, according to the legend, it's well documented. Well, let's get to that in a minute. What I want to tell you is, going up the front walk there is kind of like a hike, because you have to walk up these Mexican beach pebble. There's discs and squares and rectangles that you have to kind of walk up. There's no railing, and there's a waterfall happening beneath you the whole time. So you're like looking at the waterfall and trying not to fall and meander up. Finally, you reach the front door. Hopefully you haven't tripped by now, and you are just beholding the glory of A, the fact that you're there, B, the fact that you haven't tripped, C, the fact that you're walking up a walkway of these discs and squares that have water running underneath them. And you're like, who am I? Where am I? And how did I get here? Then you look up and you see that cutout, and whoosh, that front door, double doors. The doors are so big, they don't open all the way, but they just keep going, like they give you the illusion they do. So this was a party because, as I said, the house has just been restored. It just sold for about over $5.8 million. Okay, better calm down. Everything's fine. Inside, this was before the restoration, by the way. So the good news was this house had never been restored. The bad news was this house had never been restored. But anyway, so you can see the gorgeous pool, all the lush greenery in the backyard, and that fireplace. I mean, is this the greatest fireplace ever? I know. And again, that bowl on a pole. The bowl on a pole is a theme in Palm Springs. But it looks like they're starting to decorate for Christmas. So this picture was taken when this house was referred to, and it still is, the Elvis Honeymoon Hideaway, because Elvis, here's another view of the living room, and by the way, that 67 passenger sofa that wraps around the entire left side of the house. Well, if you're standing out front, left side. Anyway, I know, and all those amoebas and things to sit on and all that, pillows and all that, that rock wall curving, the glass right up above, that soaring roof line. Again, another angle of that hypnotizing, spellbinding, and mesmerizing fireplace. But the most unusual feature of this room is the portrait, the photograph there you can barely see on the wall. Here it is in full bloom. This is the king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley, and his bride, Priscilla. They were married in, I guess, 1967, wasn't it? Or was it 66? I should know that. Anyway, one of those 2 years. They spent their honeymoon night there. So this house will always forever be known as the House of Tomorrow, aka the Elvis Honeymoon Hideaway. So anyway, Elvis, the perfect storm, wasn't he? I know. Palm Springs is pretty star-studded back in the day. Palm Springs is, we could go on and on and on. But there is a lot of royalty in Palm Springs. This is Gary Wexler. I consider him to be Palm Springs royalty because his dad was one of the modernist architects working there in the 50s and 60s. And I'm going to show you a couple of his properties in a moment. But first, a little local art appreciation. Gary Wexler is a great artist. I love his screen prints. He is a graphic designer and decided to start doing fine art. And there it is. And it's gorgeous and I love it. And I went into his studio or his gallery studio. And I said, can I take your picture? And he's like, well, okay. But anyway, and there he is. But he told me that when he was a child, he got invited over. His family went over to see the Alexanders in the house we just saw, the Elvis Honeymoon Hideaway house. And anyway, he said, I remember sitting on those front steps with a waterfall going beneath me there. And they were serving lasagna and everyone was eating outside. He said, I went outside and ate my lasagna on the front of those steps. And he said it was the first time I ever had lasagna. And how much do we love lasagna? I know, especially when mixed with enchiladas. Enchiladas and lasagna is a recipe I made up. It's called enchilada. So good. But we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about the work of his father, Donald Wexler. And here is one of the houses right here. This is a steel case study home. There were 7 of these built, only 2 with this roof line. They were built in 1962. You can drive by them now. Palm Springs, you guys, mid-century modernism went out of style for a few decades. And I remember driving by this house and the 6 others in the neighborhood. And they were they were all completely run down. It was a very rough neighborhood at that time. And not rough, but it was all in shambles. And now all of these beautiful steel case study homes have been restored to divine perfection. And I know that roof line, I've always referred to this style of mid-century roof line as a folded paper roof line. I just do. That's not the technical term, but that's what I call it. And you can call architecture, you can name anything you want to name it. So I call that the folded paper roof line. Anyway, here is another of Donald Wexler's home built in 1964 for television pioneer, singing star of the 40s and 50s and 60s and 70s, Dinah Shore. She's the one that famously on television, her variety show in the 50s was sponsored by Chevrolet, and she is the one that sang, "See the USA in your Chevrolet. America is waiting for you to call." Da 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 da. Anyway, this is not the close-up of the house. I wanted you just to see the setting. This is Palm Springs, you guys, is kind of George Jetson meets the Flintstones. It's very Flintstones and George Jetson. So here is, walk up that walkway, turn to the right, so you don't so you're not a fool and fall into the little reflecting pool, and you walk up to the front door. This is what you see. So this house is actually kind of caught in the Fred Flintstone world because that wall that you see and several other walls in the house are adobe. Adobe. I love saying Adobe, don't you? I just love it. Adobe. Anyway, and then modern, mid-century modern other materials over there, and those spider leg beams, very much inspired by Richard Neutra. But anyway, you walk up to that front door, and now if you ring the doorbell, ding dong, the man of the home, if he's home, probably wouldn't answer the door anyway, but you open the door and you are going to start singing My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion, because standing there before you will be the one and the only Leonardo DiCaprio. This is not that house. This is a different house. 1947, the Frank Sinatra house. It is called Twin Palms. And yeah, I know. Can you believe? Very post and beam. So what is mid-century modern, you guys? Like, mid-century modern, architecturally speaking, mid-century modern is about divine simplicity. It is about post and beam. That is mid-century at its core. Post and beam, that is what mid-century is. Simplicity, new materials, a lot of glass. The indoors, outdoors are kind of like blurred. And yeah, simplicity. So in this case, you throw open the gates there. This is actually the backside of Frank Sinatra's house. And you walk under that colonnade. To your right, the swimming pool. To your left, I don't know why they plant grass in the desert. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Why don't they just do a desert landscape? But we're not here to talk about why. We're here to talk about yes. This is a masterpiece, an artistic masterpiece of the absolute highest order. I'm sure you would agree. And when you go in there, you've got to make sure that you see the master bathroom, because that is the one spot in the inside of the house that they have not redecorated. And the peach tiles on the wall, the peach bathroom tiles, you're going to see one with a big smash in it. That's where Frank Sinatra's then wife, well, no, they were really married, but where she allegedly threw a champagne bottle at him, and it went, and it missed him, but it hit the tile, and it's still broken after all these years. If you ever get into the Frank Sinatra house while you're in the neighborhood, where do we begin? Okay, I better calm down. I'm going to take a drink. You guys, cheers. Okay, here we go. Oh, sorry, this is like a lot of talking. Anyway, this is Robo Lights. It is right down the street from Frank Sinatra's house, you guys. But Frank Sinatra, by the way, hasn't lived there for 70 years. The house was built in 47, but we're not talking about Frank Sinatra anymore. We are talking about Robo Lights. Look at the scale, you guys. That's me standing there. Yeah, Robo Lights is one of the world's greatest folk art environments. It's the work of one folk artist named Kenny Irwin. And it's the largest residential plot in the old movie colony neighborhood. And you guys actually maybe it's movie colony adjacent, but anyway, it doesn't matter. It is a spectacular walkthrough experience. You can go online, robolights.com, and it's like $5 to get in. It should be like $150. It is, and this is just the tip of the iceberg, It is absolutely overwhelming. It is world class in its folk art, environmental, extravaganzical, experiential realm of its own reality. It is a craft project gone absolutely mad in every way. And you might meet the artist there, Kenny Irwin. And I don't know how much longer it's going to be there. Apparently, it's been slated to be moved somewhere. So go on robolights.com and go there. Speaking of art, I was at the Mid-Century Modernism Week art show, or, where they sell stuff a few years ago. And on the wall was hanging this watercolor. And I'm like, I really, I'm a fan of all the mid-century stuff, and I've never seen a watercolor or an oil painting or an acrylic painting or hardly anything like that of a motel. I'm buying this. So I bought it, and it said Gay's Marroy Manor. So it belonged to, this was probably built in about this painting is from when the motel, they don't say motel, by the way, in Palm Springs. Motel is absolutely an illegal word to use in Palm Springs because motels are too pedestrian. So even though they have places to stay that are kind of like motels, like this place, they don't say motel. So manor or inn. Anyway, so Gay's Marroy Manor, Marcia and Roy Gay, that was their name. Ha ha ha. I know. But anyway, I just fell in love with this painting, so I had to buy it. And so then in the realm, I looked at it really good, the colors, everything about it. So then in the realm of me collecting other people's old slides, I found some slides of Palm Springs, and I'm looking at this slide, and I'm like, wait a minute. wait a minute. This slide was taken, I love the two little girls and their cousin Lurch, don't you? I know. This was taken I could tell. And then I went back in the shape of the swimming pool, the charcoal walls, and look, it's absolutely, there's the shape of the swimming pool, and there's the charcoal walls and the color, the fascia boards there. I painted that coral color. There it is. This is it. I couldn't believe it. I love when, like your separate worlds of reality come together as one. I know. It's just, the great moment in life. And then this is just so, I love the colors, everything about it. This is just such a beautiful look at the rocks, the landscaping. I mean, this is absolutely quintessential Palm Springs. The pool, everything matches. Everything's color coordinated. The pool matches the place. I know. And then this lady is there lounging around, just soaking in that sun. And she has, I just noticed, a little T-strap Mary Jane with some little cutouts over the toes. How adorable. Some rehearsal shorts, as they call them. A little blouson of a floral print, very smart. Sunglasses and ruby red lips. And a casual stance. I'm just also noticing her red rinse on her hair, the gorgeous sunglasses. I mean, talk about picture perfect in every way, every day. Oh, you wanted more than one lounger. Fine. How about this? Lazy Susan of a lounger. Life magazine cover, Palm Springs, May 7th, 1956. Yes, I love this cover. I've always loved this cover. It's one of the greatest. But why there is that a lamb in the middle there? Which reminds me of my Easter meatloaf of lamb, but we're not talking about Easter meatloaf of lamb right now, you guys. I know. We're talking about the young lady on the lower left there, right by the word Lazy Susan, her. Well, I met her. She's about 84 now, and she lives in Catalina, but she was raised half in Catalina and half in Palm Springs, and her parents owned this long gone Del Taquitz Hotel. And what's unusual about this hotel is, I mean, many things. It's gorgeous. I know. It is, as I said, it is long gone. But notice Hotel Del Taquitz, or Taquitz. I always say it wrong. Duh. I need to get a hold of myself. Taquitz. Hotel Del Taquitz. It is Taquitz, isn't it? Yeah, Taquitz. That's what it would be. Anyway, so it's right across the street from, they built it right across the street from Robinson's. Robinson's department store was built right across the street from that old hotel. In 1958, Robinson's of Beverly Hills, J.W. Robinson's department store, very glamorous department store, high end. I can remember when I was a kid and a teenager, it still existed. It was like about the nicest store we ever went to. But anyway, it was a chain by then. But this is their 1957 store, probably their second ever store in Palm Springs. And the first was in Beverly Hills. And I love the gold diamonds, roof line, everything. The block wall inside that mocks the diamonds and everything. The 57 Chevy parked out front with that wild antenna on the bias there. Also notice that there's 4 steps up from the sidewalk. Again, it's this kind of the snooty thing, even though Palm Springs really isn't that snooty. But there is an air of sophistication that still exists from the past. I mean, it's kind of this it's all like time is in a blender there in a weird way, but in a wonderful way. We love it. And that big glass wall and everything. And inside at night, somebody took this shot at Christmas of 1958. And where do we begin to behold the glory? But you guys, I love everything about this shot. Just the interior design, the poise, the dignity, the style, the grace, the goodness, the glory of it all. The chandeliers there, that cutout, that soffit situation, the shelves of shirts, the racks of dresses, those plants, the Christmas tree, flocked. A flocked tree, you guys. Blue ribbon, the gold ornaments. I mean, this is just stunning. That woman there is dressed to match, but what I really want you to notice is you saw Hotel Del Taquitz there on the hotel across the street. There it is reflected on the mannequin's face. You can see the turquoise It's reflected in the glass. They took it there. Okay, well, I guess it's not that big of a deal. But I just love putting the puzzle pieces of history together. We might as well get it out in the open. That's one of the reasons why I'm here right now talking about it. And speaking of talking about it, here we're talking about, this is the Riviera Hotel in Palm Springs. This is one of the very few giant, well, not even giant, but large resorts. Everything else in Palm Springs, all the resorts are like little resortettes, like 8, 10, 12 rooms, maybe 20. But this one has way more than that. The Riviera Hotel opened in 1963. Don't you love the logo up there? Well, conjoined R's. It says Palm Springs Riviera Hotel. That frame around the marquee is just, I mean, that's like some fancy schmancy kind of stuff that I love. Billy Allen Band, Miss Jerry Sullivan, the Nunes Brothers Trio, dining and dancing. And yes, there is a car show in the parking lot. And yes, there is a lady way over there. Someone said, dear, her husband probably, walk way over there and I will take your picture. In the porte cochere, we see this. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is the 1963 Continental by Lincoln. And this is the one with the suicide doors. That is the back door of the car, as you can tell. And it's opening backwards. That's because suicide doors open like that. I know. Very iconic, very legendary. The man on the right, the lady getting in the car or out. But I love the waiver with the sunglasses. Don't you? I know. She is just so excited to be in Palm Springs. Well, speaking of excited to be in Palm Springs, I love the branding on the high dive, the low dive. Let us not forget where you are. Obviously, a very popular place to take a photo. And so they, in case you forget where you are, you're in Palm Springs, California at the Riviera. I know. Junior and Missy are on the diving board there, ready to make a splash. And I don't know who this guy is, but he looks very confused to be there. Maybe he's looking for this woman right here. I don't think it's his wife. I don't know who she is. Well, no, actually I don't. But anyway, I will tell you. First of all, the little sunsuit. Sorry, I said sunset. The sunsuit is a timeless classic in every way, every day. A little strappy sandal also. But we're not talking about her ensemble for the sun. We are talking about this glorious little golf cart. On the front of it, it says Marketeer. I love it. Anything called a Marketeer, because you're supposed to drive it to the market. But instead, no, in this case, you get to strike a pose on it. It takes your luggage to your room she's not the luggage worker, but anyway, or the luggage schlepper. But anyway, again, I love the branding. I mean, branding is so important. We know that now more than ever. It's just so gorgeous. I know, gold metallic too. I know. Speaking of 63 Continentals, here's one right here. So I remember when I was a little kid, my grandparents had this exact car in this exact color. And my grandmother would always say, it has the best ride of any car ever. You know what? I think I'm getting a little frothy. Sorry, too much information, but oh dear. Dropped my chopstick. Anyway, so yeah, my grandparents had this car. My grandmother always went on and on and on about how the 63 Continental that they had the best ride. She said, my friend has a Mercedes and that car rides like a lumber wagon. I'll never forget her saying that her friend's Mercedes drove like a lumber wagon. That's what my grandmother said. I mean, things our grandparents say that stick with us. That is one thing. I know. And don't you love this trio of lovely golfer ladies? The matching hats, the matching ensemble, and of course, the timeless classic, Mr. Rogers staple, the cardigan sweater. I know. And, you wanted gold. You wanted purple. What am I saying? Purple, gold, colors of royalty. Yes, this woman decides to paint her golf cart purple, or would you call it lavender? Yeah, call it either. And then her little ensemble, skirt and blouson to match. Speaking of golf carts, here is, I love this golf cart from the Thunderbird Country Club in Palm Springs. I don't know about you guys, but I love vintage golf carts. There is a vintage golf cart museum near Palm Springs in La Quinta. Happens to be near Shields Date Garden, you guys. I have not been there yet, but I want to go there and see all the vintage golf carts. Where do we begin to behold the glory of how much we all love vintage golf carts? And as I said, this one's at the Thunderbird. And this house, this is from a magazine. And it is Well, it kind of is the quintessential view of Palm Springs, you guys. I mean, from the inside of a house to see that, well, glass walls, again, they're very into glass walls there. And that sweeping view of those gorgeous mountains, the ones that I keep imagining always dinosaurs are going to come walking out of. I don't know, there's this deep depth of soul in Palm Springs that I experience when I'm there. So there's some like kind of magnetic force field of time there that I can really feel. But forget about that. How about the beauty? Looking out on this golf course. I know. And don't you love that giant, like 36 by 36 checkerboard carpet? Or is that sisal? Maybe it's sisal, but it looks like carpet. I mean, who's doing that? Somebody needs to do that. The mid-century modern furniture, the flowers, and more galore. I mean, we could go on every detail. The little ashtray over there on the side. I know. Now, what are you supposed to wear in Palm Springs? I mean, we've been talking about fashions, for the ladies. And here's ladies, like pretty cash. The lady with the shorts, very casual, almost predicting the future. The lady in the peach sundress with that very sensible handbag is wearing a bullet bra to really show off the upper part of that dress. And then, but it's the guys that we like here, the way they're dressed. More than even the ladies, the guys are setting their foot forward in fashion in ways that you do not usually see the gentleman in the vintage slides dress. And yes, that's a 58 Chevy in the background. And don't you love the light fixture too? Kind of like a flying saucer. I know. But anyway, okay, where do we begin? The guy on the right, a pullover, a matching set, the pullover with the convertible collar and that little stripe coming down there that goes into a pocket. And then the little like calypso length pant. Seriously? Yes. And then his friend, a little jacket over his shirt with a giant convertible collar, the pant to match the little short sleeve jacket, and the crowning touch, you guys, the rope belt. The world needs more rope belts, you guys. Next spring, starting in spring, the rope belt is coming back. Speaking of coming back, behold the glory of this. In the heart of Palm Springs, kind of hidden away in a courtyard, is this spectacular mid-century modern masterpiece, the Town and Country Restaurant, built by, oh my gosh, no, there I go again, forgetting the name. This is like early onset or what? That's not even funny. I'll think of it in a minute. A. Quincy Jones. I'm pretty sure that's the architect here. A. Quincy Jones. Anyway, this is the Town and Country Restaurant, and miraculously, it is still standing there. It's a bit in ruin, and it's been, I think, 20 years since there's been anything in there. The last life it had was a discotheque, I do believe. But anyway, yeah, it's absolutely a mid-century modern masterpiece. That diagonal staircase coming down into that garden courtyard, the three palms as the accessory, that gorgeous signage, and right out front there in 1963, these lovely ladies, the real official greeters of Palm Springs, posed, strike a pose. There's nothing to it. I mean, where are they now? They need to be like walking around Palm Springs every day in every way, because this is intoxicating. This is major. This is real. This is deep. I know. And they've all been to charm school on top of it. Aren't they gorgeous? I know. Oh, I just love this. This was actually taken for the cover of, I believe, Palm Springs Life magazine. Which is a fantastic magazine. And speaking of being welcoming, say hello to, yes, emerging from a 1960 Imperial limousine is, I know, don't you love the fins, is Ike and Mamie. Yes, our president and first lady, well, then former already in 1960, but they arrive in Palm Springs, and very odd though, there's no red carpet, and you can tell people have been doing donuts there in the dirt before. Where are the Secret Servicemen? There are people peeking through the bushes. And by the way, sir, don't you know that you're not supposed to put your hand in your pocket when you shake someone's hand? That is like impolite. You know, like what are you doing with that hand in your pocket? No, hand out of pocket and then reach to shake the hand of the First Lady. And here are our official greeters again. I cannot get enough of them. They are at the airport welcoming, I'm not sure who, Western Airlines, that's the gate, and everyone's all excited. There's even a Boy, or is that a Cub Scout, Boy Scout, Cub Scout? Wait, Cub Scout, Boy Scout? No, Cub Scouts. Boy Scout, Boy Scout. I was never a Cub Scout or a Boy Scout. Because the meetings were on Wednesday night, and that was the night the Carol Burnett show was on, and I did not want to miss the Carol Burnett show to be a Boy Scout, so it never happened. But anyway, that's okay. They're at Palm Springs International Airport, and this is not Palm Springs International Airport, you guys. In the 1950s, there was a hotel in Palm Springs, more like a motel, called the Desert Sky, and I'm kind of obsessed with it because it was a fly-in hotel, and here you can see it from up above. Someone's like, circling or whatever. All the planes are parked there. You can, excuse me, I'm terribly sorry. That chicken soup though. Well, sorry, now I'm really being like inappropriate, but I made homemade chicken soup, and I have to say, it turned out really good. I'm very simple about it, just mirepoix from Trader Joe's, half olive oil, half butter, saute, and boil the chicken, bring the chicken to a full boil, and then you leave the lid on and you turn the boil off and just let it sit there for 45 minutes and it will cook. And then you take it out and you shred it and add it to your mirepoix. And yeah, mirepoix, I just love saying it, don't you? I know. And then add some chicken stock, and you'll have some that you already have in there, and some salt and pepper, and it is perfect. Simple, simple, simple chicken soup. We're not talking about chicken soup right now. The Desert Sky Motel. I absolutely love it, but it's no longer there, you guys. But that you could buy a little bungalow there to live and everything. And here is, well, I don't know who they are. They're Mr. and Mrs. Caltropics. And I looked Caltropics up, you guys, and there's a lot of places called Caltropics. So I don't think their Caltropics Corporation still exists. But anyway, they have obviously flown in. They are having like private airplane pride moment right now. Strike a pose. There's nothing to it. Leaning on the wing. But you will have to admit, it is a spectacular, the tails like that, you guys. I mean, talk about a mid-century modern classic. Don't you love the paint scheme? The red, the white. I know, and those racing speed stripes. That propeller stopped exactly like this, not like that. I don't know. And they're both smoking cigarettes. He's got his sunglasses in her hand. She's got it on. It looks like they're, well, I was going to say her pants and, I mean, his pants and her skirt match, but they don't really, but they kind of do. I know. I just love it. I just love this picture so much. I mean, that red, that lipstick red, that is lipstick red. That's the color. We're not calling it any other color of red, but lipstick. Inside the Desert Sky Hotel is the dining room. It was a round dining room, kind of like a tiki hut, which we love, with a covered wagon wheel looking like a circular light fixture up above. Don't you love that rattan cage or the wicker cage with a houseplant? I know. The rattan furniture, the pink napkins, those little, each table has like a candle light there with a view of the mountains. And of course, the airplane's parked outside so you can admire everyone's airplane. I know. And yes, the rattan furniture, so tiki, 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 tiki. Yes, Palm Springs has tiki, you guys. I mean, it has everything. And I love this shot from 1963. Although originally, I thought this shot was taken at the Caliente Tropics, but it wasn't. By the way, I don't think, maybe it was. It doesn't matter right now. Well, wait. Oh, okay. What I wanted to say though about tiki gods, you guys. Yeah. So tiki gods. So, they're palms. They're palm trunks is what they are, which is a big giant blade of grass. Remember, because palm trees are grass. Palms! Sorry, not supposed to say trees. Palm trees. Palms are grass, you guys. So that's the root ball. That guy's afro hairdo, that is the root ball. It is the palm trunk turned upside down and then carved. And don't you love that? I mean, the tongue and everything. I mean, classic. Here is the Caliente Tropics, an icon landmark in Palm Springs since 1964. This is the You Have Arrived A-frame porte cochere. Yes, we love A-frames. Extra points in life if you can find in Southern California a Wiener Schnitzel hot dogs drive-through where you actually drive through the A-frame, but we're not talking about Wiener Schnitzel right now. We're talking about a 62 Cadillac convertible parked there and the 1959 Dodge Sierra station wagon. And yes, the color scheme and everything, I know. Chartreuse, avocado, and orange paired with an off-white. spellbinding, hypnotizing, and I know it is mesmerizing. It is a very spirited place. This is Caliente Tropics is where Tiki Caliente, a tiki event, takes place at least once a year, and a lot of people gather just to drink rum drinks and, well, enjoy themselves. But anyway, as you can see, yeah, it is a spirited crowd, and you can kind of get the tiki vibe there, that A-frame with the beam poking out. I love it. That hanging lamp there, and that limbo, how low can you go bar hanging there. That's so like a tall vehicle doesn't go through. That is actually not a limbo bar, but they probably do play limbo there. It is called limbo, isn't it? Wait, is that the name of it? Anyway, so by the way, yes, that is a 1954 Cadillac Coupe de Ville parked there in a rich, very bright shade of seafoam green. I know. Anyway, at that hotel, the Caliente Tropics, is where you would find Walta with an H, Walta Clark's Hawaiian shop, where he imported clothes made in Hawaii, all of which are now prized collectibles in every way, every day. I love vintage Hawaiian shirts. I love everything here. Starting on the far right, a lady wearing a two-piece bathing suit, and then there's the sarong sundress. There's a muumuu that's cut off. Then we have a lady in a bikini. Then we have a traditional muumuu, M-U-U, muumuu. And then we have a lady with a bustier with a big bouffant skirt, a sundress. And then we have a lady with a very bold pattern, straight up and down dress. And then we have a guy, that's my favorite right there, is the shirt, the guy's shirt with the big foot on the back. I have never seen that, but I can guarantee you that is a very valuable Hawaiian shirt. I don't know why we're talking about Hawaiian shirts right now. Well, actually we do, because we're in Palm Springs talking about Walta Clark's. And I love it. And by the way, I love that like lemon yellow and that kind of muted green of the mid-century modern building there behind this parade float. Yeah, and these are the only fake palms in Palm Springs, you guys. There are no fake palms in Palm Springs. They're all real. So anyway, if you want Western, back in the day, you go to Marge Riley Western Wear. Yes, she will suit your entire family up with the finest of Western wear. Marge Riley, where do we begin? Kind of barn, Spanish barn style. I love it. It says dresses, riding clothes, men, women, and children. I know. Oh, you're going to do the Western thing? Fine. How about this? Desi Arnaz, yes, star of television, husband of Lucille Ball, creator, co-creator, and co-star of the most famous, the most iconic television show of all time. My personal favorite, forever and always has been, always will be, I Love Lucy. Yes, so in 1957, he wasn't actually allowed because, allegedly, being Cuban, he wasn't allowed to build his home on this country club that he wanted to build on. So he's like, fine, I'll build my own hotel. And indeed he did, and here it is. And by the way, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I'm sure you did. There's something kind of intoxicatingly perfect about, well, that kind of volcano-y, we're not going to talk about the volcano-y mountain in the background, but it is kind of, isn't it? I know. It probably was a volcano a million years ago. But anyway, no, that color palette, that gorgeous, like, muted orange. Do you say orange or orange? You can say orange now. We can evolve. Let's collectively as a society say orange now, okay? It's more fun. I know. And that turquoise. Oh, okay. You could be annoying and say turquoise if you wanted. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Orange and turquoise or orange and turquoise. I just love it. With the muted rock and the dark wood there and everything, and palms, not trees, as a dramatic backdrop. Fine. You didn't want to go to the Western Hills. You wanted to go to the desert hills. Well, don't you love, I love handwritten signage. It's just, the mood is up and the standard of living is flying high when you see signage written out in your favorite lesbian aunt's handwriting. The desert hills, the desert skies. I know. Look at that S. Look at that K-I-E. Look at the E. Look at that other S. I mean, it's just, it's heaven. Is it just me? Oh, maybe you like this S better. The Stardust. How much do we love out of this world names? The Orbit Inn. I love the Orbit Inn, you guys, so much. The Orbit Inn in Palm Springs is one of my favorite places to stay. I mean, you guys, we could this show could be a series. I mean, Palm Springs just goes on and on and on. But it is one of the greatest places to stay in Palm Springs if you love the mid-century, the Orbit Inn. Just look it up, trust me, and tell them I sent you. Okay, fine. You wanted to go back to 1965 and stay at the Desert Ho. I know you could never call a place the Desert Ho now, but because people would, well, anyway, it'd be sold out all the time for sure. They'd have to keep expanding. But anyway, I know, and don't you love that 1964 Ford Fairlane 500 sitting there, and that khaki metallic, not to mention the Imperial, finished in jet black. Yes, indeed. Oh, you want to do Western? Fine. Back in the day, like in the 40s and 50s, maybe into the early 60s, they would have these big, like, wagon train breakfasts, and you'd ride on horseback from like your resort, wherever you were in Palm Springs. You'd ride on horseback out into the desert, and they would serve you this breakfast, you know, bacon and eggs and all the trimmings and everything else. And then a Western singer would serenade you for like a few minutes. You'd have a little concert, and then back on your horse you'd go. I know, it's like, I want to do that again. I want to have a Western party in Palm Springs. I really, really do. Nobody's doing that. We need to do that. I have Western wear, don't you? I know. Anyway, so speaking of, extra points for dressing alike, extra points for having a trailer that's lemon lime, and don't you love the door that's open there, revealing the honey blonde wood of the interior? Oh, those interiors of those vintage trailers are spectacular. And there's a big vintage trailer show every February, or I just say Feb now. Forget the ruary. Yeah, every Feb, there's a big trailer show in Palm Springs during Modernism Week. Look it up. And by the way, you guys, that kid it says Palm Springs on his t-shirt, and extra points for the cuffed Levi's. Okay, fine. You want to talk about trailers? We're going to the Sahara Trailer Park, you guys. This picture was taken a week ago. Don't you love the camel? I know. Anyway, it is the best trailer park in all of Palm Springs land. Here it is. Just a couple of years after it was built in 1955, a sweeping dramatic view of the mountain's majesty, the palms, the clubhouse, the swimming pool, the bottle brush, the chaise lounges there, and people dancing. How often do you dance? Like, what do they think they're Dancing with the Stars or something? I know. I love it. No one dances like that anymore. Wow, that is like, I just love this whole scene. It's amazing. But this trailer park still exists, and many of Sahara Park, it's behind the Ace Hotel. It's so picture perfect. I mean, this place is just ripe for the picking to become this one of the great show places of Palm Springs, because so many of the trailers are original, like this one right here. Don't you love it? The yellow, you can see the little trailer there in the middle. See it? It got built around. They kind of did a bump up. That's called a ramada. That's to shade the trailer right above the trailer up there. And then some company came around, I don't know when, maybe the early 60s or whatever, maybe even earlier, and said, we're going to bump out make them a living room on the side. So many of them have this bumped out living room, but it's very classic, very adorable. Here's another one. The trailer now really stands out. You can see the ramada above it. And I know, don't you love the color of the trailer? I know. I love the green stained cement. The world needs more colored stained cement, you guys. There is cement stain, and it looks so great in color. And the Palo Verde tree there and everything. And in the driveway, it is a 1959 Continental. Yes, it is absolutely gorgeous. And this is my friend Dennis and his trailer. And I've been a guest in Dennis's trailer many times. It's absolutely fantastic. Dennis is a great party thrower. And one time I ate too many edibles there a few years ago. And I left and I'm like, I can't drive. I ended up having to spend the night in the parking lot at Ace Hardware. I did. I know. It's scandalous. Anyway, so here is Dennis went all tilt, full Western in his trailer. He calls it the Giddy Up Getaway. And it is, I know, don't you love thrift shop, store, whatever, art, wagon wheel furniture. I mean, Palm Springs has so much to offer, and everybody loves to show off their places too. This is actually at another trailer park, the King Tut trailer. It's probably was done about, I'm going to say 55 or 60 years ago, and it's still there, as is this one, Chinese Modern, 1958. Blue Skies Trailer Park is where these are. I don't know about you guys, but I love Chinese Modern. I never heard of Chinese Modern until watching that I Love Lucy episode where Lucy has to tell the truth. And her friend Marion Strong has Chinese modern furniture, and they all go over there to play cards. And then Marion Strong says to Lucy, what do you think of my new furniture? And she says, well, gosh, she says, it looks like a nightmare you'd have after eating too much Chinese food. I know. Can you believe that? That cracked me up as a child so much. But anyway, I just love this. And Breeze Block, you guys. This is a Breeze Block side trailer pop out. You know Breeze Block? Here's Breeze Block right here. Breeze Block is ready for its close-up, or as I call it, concrete lace. Breeze Block is the quintessential, most important architectural detail trimming of most homes in Palm Springs. And it comes in many patterns. It was popular in the 50s and 60s. And there are companies now that remanufacture it, but it comes in about a million patterns. It's fun just to drive around Palm Springs and look at all the Breeze Block. The biggest, well, there's actually bigger, but the most prominent Breeze Block installation is you have arrived at the Parker Hotel, which the Parker Hotel is a must-see, must-experience place in Palm Springs. And this is the guy there, the doorman, white with pink pants, those big double orange doors. You open it up and voila. I will tell you that I went there. The last time I went there, I was actually driving in the Wienermobile. Yes, it is. There's that big wall behind it. And we pulled up there and they're like, you can't come in here with that. You can't come in here with that. And we're like, why? And they're like, cuz. We said, we just want to turn around. They're like, no, I don't think so. And then they said, well, actually, though, you're not going to be able to back out. You're going to have to come in. So we went in, we turned around and everything. And every like rock star and rapper and person in that hotel like came out. Even a weenie dog, you guys, came out to greet the Wienermobile there. It was a big moment. And then the guys, the guards at the guard shack out front, they were like mean when we were coming in. They were all nice when we were going out. And they said, can we take our picture with the Wienermobile? The Wienermobile transcends class, you guys. It is the world's greatest advertising vehicle, and it originated in the year of 1934. And if you're lucky, you get to ride around in it. But anyway, we're not talking about Wienermobiles right now. But if you like orange and, oh, by the way, it's so bizarre because Norma's restaurant at the Parker is in the color scheme of the Wienermobile. Yeah, go figure. Anyway, this is Norma's highly recommended restaurant at the Parker. Outdoors, as you can see, it's magical. It's just radiant and glorious and glowing and lovely. I'll never forget, I had a big salad there. I ordered a salad, and it came in a hollowed out iceberg lettuce. Oh yeah, it was the biggest head of iceberg lettuce I've ever seen, but hollowed out completely, and the salad was in the middle. And then it had a breadstick that was like a foot long. A breadstick a foot long coming out of it. It was so amazing. Oh, you want bread? Fine. Here's bread, you guys. Peninsula Pastries in Palm Springs. This is Helene and Christophe. They were from France. Well, they are still from France. They came to Palm Springs on vacation, and they're like, you know what? We're not moving back to France. And so they opened up a pastry shop in Palm Springs and a bread. So breads and pastries, and they have cakes too. Absolutely the best pastries in the Western Hemisphere, probably the Eastern Hemisphere as well. Anywhere near Palm Springs for sure. You've got to go to Peninsula Pastries, you guys. Now, if you're lucky, when you're there, Helene will be behind the counter. And she has a beautiful French accent. She's just charming and adorable. And occasionally, if you're lucky, Christophe will come screaming out of the kitchen door, the bakery, where he's doing all the baking. They make everything from scratch there. He'll come out and with a rolling pin in his hand, like screaming in French or whatever, and then go back in there in a huff. It's fantastic. You'll love it. It's great. It's a deep soul kind of place, you guys. I mean, this is the real deal. So my favorite there, I mean, I've tried just about everything, and everything is intoxicatingly good, and it's hard to make up my mind. But at the end of the day, I really do love the apple tart. I guess they call it a tart. First of all, slicing the pastry dough like that, fine art! The taste of it, the texture of it, oh, you don't want it to end. There's only one problem when you eat it. You don't eat it in the car like I did, because I mean, my car was like, when you take a bite out of it, the layers, there's so many layers like a croissant that, it explodes, and like all these, like, there becomes a snowstorm of flaky, like, dough crust or whatever it is. Oh, it's so good, you guys. Peninsula Pastries. Oh, you didn't want Peninsula Pastries. You wanted a banana split. You know, I hadn't had a banana split for 40 years up until about 4 or 5 months ago. And I just thought, yeah, I'm going to have a banana split. Remember banana splits? Have you had a banana split lately? Have you? They're so good. Anyway, at Cream, first of all, I love the signage. Kreem. Again, in your favorite lesbian aunt's handwriting. So spectacular. They serve their banana split in a Chinese restaurant, speaking of Chinese restaurant, to-go container. How, how forward-thinking is that? I know. And anything with sprinkles and a maraschino cherry on top, I'm in. Speaking of handwritten signage, you guys, I can't get enough of it. Palm Springs is loaded up with it. It is the official style guide of Palm Springs signage, the handwritten signage, which was very popular in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, and then went out of style. Well, it's back. And again, I said it before, I'm going to say it again. When you see it, it's like the mood is up and the standard of living is flying high. I love this house. In another neighborhood in Palm Springs, there are so many neighborhoods in Palm Springs, you guys. I believe this is Rancho Vista, I think. Anyway, I know, it doesn't matter because it's just such a great house. Well, it does matter, but, and I love, they're very American. They've got the American flag in place of drapes and everything, the color palette. This is kind of a hippie neighborhood, you guys. It's a little more colorful, a little more out of control, a little more wild child, and I love it. Don't you? I know. And you could if that's like a movie screen over there. Their address is like a title on a drive-in movie theater screen, which is genius. I know. And no one's ever going to say well, I can't find the address. It's so perfect. I know. Speaking of more handwritten signage, you guys, in this case, the Holiday House, which was established in about 1951. There are, varying degrees of hotel service in Palm Springs. From 5-star, 4-star, 3-star. And, there's not that many. It's all, Palm Springs is all very nice. Most. But anyway, this is one of the nicest places to stay in all of Palm Springs, you guys. The Holiday House. You're only seeing their Volkswagen van, which serves as a signboard, but don't we love Volkswagen vans? I know. Anyway, the Holiday House. Yeah. And don't you love the blue? Oh, this is very different. The Karakia, you guys, means... Okay, I better calm down. I think I have to have a drink of water. Savor the Karakia for a minute. The Karakia Bed and Breakfast. One of the most unique properties in all of Palm Springs. There's a backside of a fake crow up there on top because Karakia means crow in Greek. Did I just say that? I don't know if I did, but here it is. We're just going to stand at the entrance, this arch entrance, rock arch entrance. It is actually a house. It's a former home built by a Scottish artist in 1924, Gordon Coots. And I absolutely love this place. The New York Times call it the sexiest resort in all of the United States. So it's very special, the Karakia, check it out. You want Moroccan style? Fine. Go to the El Mirador. Yes, the Mirage. Built in 1928. This is the Tower building. This was taken in the late 1950s. And I can tell because that's a 58 Oldsmobile sitting there in that pastel pink to match the El Mirador. I love it when people match their car where they're going. Don't you? Anyway, I know that's a 58 Oldsmobile because I had one. I drove it home from San Fernando Valley to Silver Lake where I live with no brakes. Big mistake. One night, lost the brakes. I thought, I'll drive home anyway. But anyway, I don't recommend that. But the tower and the lobby building, built in 28, are still there. It is now the lobby building of the Desert Regional Hospital. And thank you, Desert Regional Hospital of Palm Springs, for saving that incredible tile-topped tower. I know, I just love it. And then you can see in the 50s, they added that Port Cochère, and here it is. And these guys with a Plymouth cab and a Cadillac and a 57 Ford as a dramatic backdrop. You can see the Port Cochère there in an absolute picture-perfect example of early 1950s mid-century modern. It is indeed. And these two guys there strike a pose. There's nothing to it. Modeling their fezzes and extra points because the guy on the right actually has the very valuable fez print shirt. Yeah. Fez prints, those are fezzes all over that shirt. It's like a Hawaiian style shirt, fez print. Very valuable now, a timeless classic. Speaking of timeless classics, these guys, I don't know where they're going. Oh, well, I almost said I don't know where they're going. I do. El Mirador Pool. So they are downtown Palm Springs. Also, by the way, in Palm Springs, we celebrate the Mediterranean style, the Spanish style, call it what you will. pre-modernism. They were building a lot of this style, and some of it's still there, and it's just beautiful, so warm and inviting. The Casa de Beverly. Yes, in the El Dorado Hotel. This picture taken in the late 1940s. It's got to be the 4th of July parade. They do a lot of festivities there. There's parties and parades and all kinds of stuff all the time. I love crepe paper and bicycles when they get together, don't you? And don't you love a tandem bicycle? Speaking of, this is the center of town, Spanish style. This is La Plaza, built in 1937. This, according to the legend, is the first retail center built in the United States with a parking lot as the centerpiece. Car culture had arrived. And it is still there. It is still the heart and soul and centerpiece of Palm Springs. Here it is back in the looks like the 1940s, judging by the cars. The sign there that says La Plaza is still there. It looks virtually exactly the same. The only thing is the wishing well behind it is gone. But anyway, never mind that. Another shot of it from the 1940s. I love that late mid-20s car parked there. It's probably a Packard. It's absolutely gorgeous, I know. Anyway, La Plaza still looks like this. Here it is now. I was just there the other day, and you do not do Palm Springs without doing a scamper around. There are a lot of little hidden nooks and crannies and little boutiques and shops, and there's some restaurants that are there that are fantastic. Tyler's Hamburgers is there. Atelier Cafe is there. And funky little stores. And also, like this place, the Elephant Walk or whatever, but just to walk down that corridor, this time-honored kind of time capsule of old Palm Springs, it's just very special, very warm, very rich, very inviting. And then there's a restaurant there called The Farm, which is spectacular. Highly recommend it. Reservations are totally necessary weeks in advance. It is the place. And Mrs. Farm, the lady that owns the farm, she actually lives in, this house right here. Don't you love the gentle arch roof line there? And that big giant rock. Better calm down. There she is. She is sitting there. She herself told me that she left a toaster plugged in that she bought at Target under her counter, and it lit the house on fire. Luckily, the fire department was able to get up, the winding roads that lead to her, one of the very few houses or homes built in the hills there in Palm Springs. But anyway, I know, the farm and her house. But up above that, up on the right there, you see the home of local rock star architect Albert Frey. This is the home that, he's probably the most iconic modernist architect in Palm Springs and was probably there the longest, virtually. But anyway, if you get to see the house, I cannot recommend the Albert Frey house enough. I mean, we could go on and on. I wish we could go inside and out of all these, but if we did, it would just take us forever. But look at the beautiful view down below, the swimming pool there, and it is quite spectacular. And again, one of the very few houses on the hill, or on any of the hills in Palm Springs. And look down there, way down there in the far distance, you're going to see not twin palms, but triplet palms, a trio of palm trees. This is the centerpiece and crowning touch of an Albert Frey property. Very Albert Frey, very in his style guide, the man whose house we just saw a second ago. This is, as you can see there, it's spelled out crystal clear, so there is no confusion. Hello, Palm Springs City Hall. How are you? I'm fine, thank you. Yes, built between the years of 1957 and 1952. Shall I say 52 and 57? It is so minimalist and so perfect, so Palm Springs. And of course, that what I call a botanical breakthrough. Whoosh, the palm trees. Looking the other way, you see this again up the 4 steps. There's this kind of 4-step principle of architecture in Palm Springs that puts you above the pedestrian level. Everything there is a little heightened. Or a lot heightened. It's a very special presentational place. So anyway, now I'm getting a notification. Okay, never mind that, sorry. But it's almost like the water rushing in. It's like a waves or whatever. You come down there, you go way down there to the end where it twists around. And this is The People Are the City, the council chamber buildings. And by the way, let it not go unsaid, Sonny Bono was among the pioneers of preservation of the mid-century aesthetic in Palm Springs in the 1990s when he was mayor of Palm Springs. Yeah, Sonny and Cher, Sonny Bono. Yeah, Cher, I got you, babe. Yeah, Sonny and Cher, Sonny Bono, mayor of Palm Springs. And it is in part, we owe credit to him for saving this building from them building like some McMansion or something. Speaking of Albert Frey, allegedly, I don't know why I keep saying allegedly. It's not a word in my vocabulary until today. But anyway, the monkey tree was supposed to be one of his designs, but I think it turns out we now know that it wasn't. But about 10 years ago, maybe even 15, when I was studying Albert Frey, I had to go around and see all the Albert Frey properties in Palm Springs, and the monkey tree was one of them. So I called up the monkey tree and I said, I'm studying Albert Frey, and he's the architect of your hotel, because at that time it was thought he was. And so they said, come on over if you want to see it. It's great. It's fantastic. You'll love it. And they also said, by the way, it's a nudist colony. And I'm like, oh, what? A nudist colony? You've got to be kidding. Well, I had to see the place because I was studying Albert Frey architecture. So I went there and, yeah, they were right. It was a nudist colony. So anyway, whoa, I know. But then, I don't know what happened to the nudity. It moved on to another place. And yes, there are several clothing optional places in Palm Springs. Well, the desert, the sun, the warmth, and everything, nudity. Yeah, I've added a syllable to nudity. The word needs to be nudity. I know. Anyway, so what I wanted to say is like, it is still there. The monkey tree is still there. A few years later, after I was there, it got purchased by a couple from New York who said their dream was to have a bed and breakfast. And so they did, and everything was fine. And then they said, let's have a party here. And do you want to host the party? I said, okay, let's do it. And they said, do you want to give the party a theme? I said, well, the theme will be pink. What am I saying? Pink. Yellow and turquoise. So we had a yellow and turquoise party, or yellow and blue, call it what you will. But anyway, it's people in Palm Springs are very into dressing up fun and festive. It's so much fun, you guys. I know. Don't you love the ostrich feather hem on her vintage cocktail dress from the 1960s there? Ostrich feather trim. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. But we're not talking about ostrich feathers anymore right now. We're talking about the greatest cactus nursery show place on the planet, in my opinion. It has a very deep soul. Morton's Botanical Garden since 1957. I do believe you have to pay $5 to get in. It should be $55. Even that would be a bargain. This is the son of the original owners, Slim and Patricia Morton. Patricia Morton was a lifelong dedicated, she was a lifelong dedicate. Did I just make that up? A lifelong dedicate to cactus. And in 1957, they bought this property and they moved there. This is their son. He's still there. Slim and Patricia Morton. I'm not sure if his name is Slim Jr., but it should be. I mean, how great would it be to be even named Slim? But even Slim Jr. is even that much better. Anyway, he will greet you there. He's really tall, and he has the presence of that old Western star, John Wayne. Anyway, the whole place has a deep soul. It's the only place that you are ever going to see, the world's only cactarium, you guys. And here it is. It's an old Quonset hut, and you go in, but first, I know, so unpretentious. Don't you love it? It's a very special place. This is the inner sanctum of Palm Springs, one of the great inner sanctums. There it says that the world's first cactarium. So you have not done Palm Springs until you've done the cactarium. When you're in there, there are like so many bizarre like succulents and cacti that are everywhere all around you, and they're coming to get you and everything. It is hypnotizing, spellbinding, and mesmerizing, as is the original house on the property that was once owned, actually built by a photographer, an early desert photographer, a landscape photographer named Stephen Willard. I wrote it down. I did not want to forget that name. Anyway, his hand-tinted photos are now very collectible, very valuable. He worked in the 30s. Here's one of them right now. And I got invited over to these people's house, actually in a trailer at the trailer park. And they had one of his big framed 1930s hand-tinted photos there. And I absolutely fell in love with it. It was just so beautiful. Stephen Willard, look him up. You want cactus? Fine, we're going to do cactus right now. This is Trixie's I can't even say it. This is so exciting, you guys. Trixie's Cactus Garden. Yeah, I can say that. Trixie's Taxi Garden. Oh, Taxi Garden? Oh my God. Palm Springs is so exciting. It's overwhelming, you guys. Trixie's Cactus Garden, not Trixie's Taxi Garden. That'd be interesting. But you guys, okay, so recently I went out to dinner in Palm Springs and I looked back at the property behind the restaurant. I'm like, what's that? What's that? It's all pink. And then I went and looked over the fence and I saw this. So recently, one of RuPaul's Drag Race contestant champions, Trixie Mattel, whom I only knew of not because I watched RuPaul's Drag Race. I don't watch RuPaul's Drag Race because I don't watch any television. I don't. I really, really don't, unless I'm over at someone else's house. Anyway, but I knew of Trixie Mattel already because I got a call around a year ago saying, can you do a voiceover on Trixie Mattel's album? So Trixie Mattel made an album and I'm the voiceover on there. The low voice, that's me on there. Anyway, whatever. So I go to look over the fence of the pink wall and I see this. It is absolutely the most gorgeous, perfect, picture perfect motel makeover ever of all time. Everything is pink and white, and I've never seen color coordination like this. I've never seen a kidney-shaped swimming pool. That is the ultimate shape for a swimming pool, by the way, you guys. A kidney shape. Yeah, kidney-shaped swimming pool. Anyway, I mean, I've never seen pink, white sunburst splat of color coming out from the pool like this with everything matching perfectly. It is indeed divine perfection. Now, this was the former of an old hotel that was there for a while, and Ruby Montana's. And Ruby Montana was there for a long time. And I have to say, Ruby, it was a magical place when she had it. And now Trixie's done a makeover, and it's still magical, absolutely perfect in every way. Now, when Ruby Montana had it, Ruby Montana served dessert out of the back door. Well, you bought whole pies from her, lemon pies. So she's gone. She's no longer there. She moved on. I don't know where she went, but now if you want the best lemon dessert in all of Palm Springs, you got to go to Sherman's Deli. Oh yes, Sherman's, serving it up in Palm Springs since 1962. And I will tell you that it is here where you get this relish tray of like green tomatoes, sauerkraut, and like pickles in a little aluminum tray, a decorative aluminum tray. I mean, where do you get that anymore? Nowhere. Here is the bakery case there, and we could go on and on about all these desserts, but I love their domed cakes on the right, like the one on the lower right, that chocolate and white one, absolutely gorgeous. But it is right next to it. It is this dome of a lemon cake, so beautifully decorated. This is the ultimate lemon dessert in all of Palm Springs. Sherman's, you got to go there and get this and bring it to a party. It weighs like 20 pounds, more, probably more. And I don't even know how much it costs, but whatever it is, it's a bargain. Because when you walk in the door of a party with this, set it down in the middle of the table, you will hear the angels singing and you will see the people gather. Sherman's Deli has been around, as I said, since 62. This is the original location right here. And I don't know about you, but I love that like kind of like toothpick meets rocket ship that really makes a statement over the restaurant, which started as the Springs. Yes, built in 1957 by local rock star, modernist architect, William F. Cody. This is a very special and long gone, long bulldozed restaurant. Before Sherman's took it over, it was called the Springs. You can see it says The Springs written out right there in coral and dirt color and white letters. Don't you love that? The desert landscape, the flower blossoms, the rock, that plant going like this and everything, the palms, and the unusual building itself. I mean, we've never seen anything like this. Very avant-garde. And in Palm Springs, you have the license to be avant-garde. Palm Springs is different. Palm Springs is special. And look at those beams coming out like that with those decorative endings. Look at the glass on the diagonal and then going back in like this. I mean, this place, look at that front door. Yeah, that's the front door over there, you guys. I know. And you can see right through the restaurant. You can see a table in there. You could sit there. The ocotillo, the rock, just the shape of it, the organic, the earthiness of it. I wish there were more photos of it. But at one point, the roof comes right down to the ground and gives you and like your great grandma's here the perfect place to strike a pose. There's nothing to it. Indeed. And I know, isn't it gorgeous? I just love it. The ocotillo is framed so well there with a black background. And I know we could go on and on about the ladies and everything and all that, but I want to show you another William F. Cody building. Yeah, in Palm Springs, as part of the lore there is the architecture and the actual architects. There's a lot of people that study modernist architectural style there in Palm Springs. This is another Cody building built in 47, the Del Marcos Hotel. This is not the original signage. Whoever designed this sign probably about 20 years ago when they redid, rehabbed, rethunk, reinvented, restored the hotel. Looks like they had a little too much Chinese, not Chinese food the night before. It looks like they had a little too much Swiss cheese the night before, doesn't it? I know. Anyway, we love the Del Marcos Hotel. It is a little kind of wacky wonky. It's a little Frank Lloyd Wright meets Mad Hatter Tea Party. Look at the doors there. I know. I'll never forget one time I was giving my architectural bus tour in Palm Springs, and out of that very door, one of those doors opened and the guy said, "Shut the up." Because I guess I was being a little loud on the bus. But anyway, yeah, the walls going like this and everything. Okay, you wanted to talk about springs in Palm Springs. We've seen palms. Where are the springs? They are here. Yes, at the Palm Springs Spa. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, agua caliente. So sadly, tragically, this walkway, this entrance to the Palm Springs, built in I think about 64, got bulldozed about 5 years ago. Yes, nothing lasts forever in this world. Doesn't matter how perfect or sacred or special it is. There are no guarantees in life. But anyway, I will tell you that this was a masterpiece, and we only now have photos to remember it by. Sadly, tragically, the springs, the natural springs in Palm Springs are there. So Palm Springs kind of got started, you guys, basically as a health resort in like the late 1890s. If you research Palm Springs, you're going to see a lot of women were pioneer developers in Palm Springs. Shocking, but true. A very feminist society because, yeah, as I said, a lot of women were, several women were like very instrumental in the development of Palm Springs and the hotel properties there, the early ones. And anyway, so yeah, I mean, we could go on and on. In the 30s, Hollywood discovered Palm Springs and it became a playground for the rich and famous movie stars, moguls, titans of industry, captains of commerce, you name it. And then by the 70s, it started to go out of style a little bit as Palm Desert and Rancho Mirage began to develop. And a lot of the people went to those newer resorts and built newer homes. And Palm Springs kind of fell out of favor until the 90s. Palm Springs started to kind of bubble up again when mid-century modernism became a thing, and people, architectural historians and artists and others with vision came to Palm Springs and said, this place is amazing. It's got great bones. It's got legend. It's got lore. It's got landmark and more galore. Let's restore this place. And they did. We're still at Palm Springs Spa. As you can see there, hot springs and hot mineral baths and springs. And this woman is striking a pose next to this sculpture that was there. I wonder where it is now. I don't think they would have thrown it away in the garbage. But anyway, and by the way, to her, I say thank you for wearing that beautiful shade of violet print dress. And that big poof right here on the side of your head is very becoming. Speaking of purple, speaking of pink and night lighting, how much do you love night lighting? This is, you guys, I know, we're going all over the place. Speaking of springs, these aren't the real springs. This is just a little fountain pool around the centerpiece and focal point of the Villa Roma condominium complex in Palm Springs. Yeah, you can go there and sing Italian songs and pretend you're Dean Martin or whatever you want to do. Speaking of night lighting, we are now looking at the City National Bank, built in 1959. This is, well, if Palm Springs is a theme park, this is the castle. It is absolutely in the most prominent spot in the entire town, where Palm Canyon and Indian Canyon come together, just south of the heart of Palm Springs, is this. And here it is in its day when it was new, that gorgeous fountain, the night lighting and everything. Don't you love? Look at purple lighting in the fountain and pink lighting and everything and all that turquoise. Oh, it's almost too much for words. This is the scale of that fountain. It is enormous, monumental, and massive, judging by extra points for dressing alike. I know. And what was she thinking though with those lipstick red, or do you call that Chinese red, or scarlet socks, Bobby socks? Socks, Bobby socks. Yeah, Bobby socks. I know. Anyway, and they've got their Jeep pulled up there behind. I love the two-tone on the Jeep. It practically blends in, matches the whole place. But that fountain, I know, the tile. Here is the building as it stands today. Virtually, well, I mean, it's been slightly altered. The fountain is gone, but the crowning touch and the focal point of this very beautiful, very international style, very spectacular modernist building, inspired by a church in France, by the way, is the focal point is the blue tile. It's like little 1x1 Venetian tiles, and just like something you'd find in your shower. I know, isn't it gorgeous? And of course, the crowning touch, the accessories, the palms. Oh, fine! You wanted a very Brazilian style. Well, Oscar Niemeyer of Brasilia fame inspired this mid-century modern masterpiece. Originally, the Coachella Valley Savings and Loan. Now Chase, you can see the Chase logo up there, but thankfully still exists and is still beautiful in every way, every day. And what's so great about it, you guys, you saw a fountain at the other bank. Well, this whole bank is floating in a pool of water in case you want to practice your butterfly stroke there before or after you deposit your millions or maybe do a withdrawal to go shopping or something. You can take a lap or two in the reflecting pool there at Coachella, the former Coachella Valley Savings and Loan, built in the year of 1961. I just had to throw this one in, hairstyling by Alora Kenyon. Don't you love that? I know. I love the sun-trap roofline, the V-beams over there, the painter palette shape, well, kind of freeform shape of the signage there, the font, everything. Look at buy. Just the word buy there with the tall B and the long tail on that Y. Not to mention, speaking of lipstick red, her sandals, her lemon meringue shorts, and her avocado blouson. Very timeless classic, not to mention the dark stained wood and the lemon meringue color, or more custard yellow, I guess, of the trim of that building. I know. And here we are, you guys. We've talked a lot about Palm Springs. We've been east, west, north, and south, but we have not done the pools yet, you guys. Swimming pools, swimming pools, swimming pools. It is the ultimate crowning touch. As I said earlier, it is the centerpiece of every residential and hotel property. This one taken in the 1950s. Yes, the mountains, the umbrellas, the pool, her, the cigarette, the lounge. She's having a good time. This is one of the most famous swimming pools ever of all time in Palm Springs. This is the Tennis Club, built in 1946. The pool is still there. The modernist structure there. A. Quincy Jones, 1946, still there. Mrs. Bixby, though, she's left the building. This is Mrs. Bixby of Long Beach, one of the land grant families, or it's one of those families that owned a lot of property in Long Beach, starting in probably the 1880s. Anyway, Bixby is a prominent name in Long Beach. This is Mrs. Bixby. I got this at her estate sale, or maybe it was one of her children's estate sale. But anyway, it doesn't matter. But we remember the Bixbys, and we thank them for all the good they did in Palm Springs. And we thank her for striking a pose so casual with her superhero cape there by this oval-shaped swimming pool. And here we are at Des Arnaz Western Hills Resort. And again, that gorgeous two-tone of the turquoise and orange, remember? And we're diving into the pool. Finally, we are in the pool. I know. It gets very hot in Palm Springs, you guys. Sometimes in the summer, it can get over 120 degrees. Yeah, super hot. But anyway, there's something about this photo. I don't know what it is. It's like, well, it just feels cool, doesn't it? I know. And look at the baked desert, the purple mountains majesty, the spatial, the glacial, and the umbrella, and that guy over there doesn't want to do anything to do with those people. The antisocial one. And then there's the pool for one. Yes, I know. I don't know about you, but I love a porcupine-style bathing cap. Ladies, please, gentlemen, whatever, it doesn't matter. Shall we we need to have a bathing cap fashion show. Wouldn't that be fun? That's one thing I have not seen in Palm Springs. We're going to have the golf carts come out, and we're going to have the bathing caps come out. We're going to have a Hawaiian clothing show, because it's very Palm Springs, I know. Anyway, you guys, last but not least, we're doing it. We're going up to the top of 8,500 feet on the aerial tramway, one man's dream, starting in the year of 1937. He's like, we need to take people up there because it's 30 degrees cooler at the top of the building. So ultimately it happened. The Albert Frey, this is down below, the lodge down below, the aerial tramway station where you catch the tramway, still looks exactly like this. Don't you love those windows and everything? Very 1963, because that's the year the tramway finally came to be. One of the men who was really involved in putting this all together, and worked for decades to get it going. Actually spent 2 years in Switzerland, riding up and down every one of them that was there to kind of make sure that everything was going to be fine. And indeed, it has turned out to be. There I am. I've been on it several times, and you have not done Palm Springs until you've done the aerial tramway. And when you get part way up there, you guys know the ride is kind of scary, but who cares? It's fun. It's a thrill ride. It is the ultimate attraction in all of Palm Springs land. There is the aerial tramway station, Seafoam Green, though no longer. It needs to go back to that, though. And here he is. Oh, well, we're back at the tramway station there. I guess I jumped the gun a little. Back in the day, the guys who loaded and unloaded the gondolas, I believe they call them, tramways, they wore lederhosen. I mean, how perfect is that? Don't you love lederhosen? I know. Anyway, I feel like singing Pa, but I'm not going to right now. Yeah, as I said, it's a little scary to go up there. You go up, it's about 6,000 feet you go up. You're about 2,000 above sea level when you start, and then 8,005 feet. The lady right there in the window, she's like realizing already, this is going to be scary, and oh, there it is. So basically, I think it's about 5 glorified telephone poles strung with like clothesline that you're going up more or less. It's amazing, you guys. And look at this beautiful picture-perfect postcard shot of 1963. It's like a fashion show. Let it be an inspiration to you. Yes, it's okay to wear stripes going like this. It is. Proof positive right there. Behold the glory. Up top, we have 1968, the drop torso look. On the right, shocking pink, mink collar. We've got a lady with 3 pocket flaps going down her right hip and the long end of a self-tie belt down the other. Gold chains. A man in a very simple, classic gray suit. And a lady in a Jackie Kennedy-style suit of 1963, complete with mid-length gloves, and she's holding one in one hand, very poised, proper, and dignified. And 3/4 sleeve, of course, you noticed on the jacket, and a, puff cigarette. Finally, we reach almost the very end where our official greeters are having a parade. You guys, Palm Springs is a very special place. I hope that you find it in your heart and soul to really bask in the glory of the glow of it all, the legend, the lore, the landmark around every corner. It has a spirit, very special, unique in all the universe. And last but not least, as we finally depart this tour, ladies and gentlemen, yes, I took the Wienermobile to the giant dinosaur. Of course I had to, because the Wienermobile people said, where do you want to go next? And I'm like, let's go see the giant dinosaur. So here we are. We've seen the east, the west, the north, and the south of Palm Springs, and I want to say thank you so much for joining me here on this wild and wacky tour of Palm Springs land, as I call it. Thank you for your support, and you being here and purchasing your ticket for this event allows me to continue to do what I love doing, celebrating, roasting and toasting, having fun with a very spectacular time and place in American pop culture history, the mid-century. Behold the glory, and thank you again for joining me. Okay, you guys, bye-bye. Ah!
The kitten with the whip has arrived.